Wowee! Vector graphics, a great way to represent 3D environments on ancient technology. But just stop and imagine though, if real life was all in these graphics. What if your mum was untextured geometric frames? Don't tell Charlie Brooker, it'll be in the next series of Black Mirror, and then I'll watch it and never sleep again. I like sleep. Let me sleep. One day, just for a while, without the guilt. Anyway, Terrahawks, yeah. Terrahawks was a 1980s sci-fi show that was the last Jerry Anderson series to feature his creepy human-handed puppets. Set in the futuristic year of 2020, ooh, that's soon if you're watching this in 2019, or if you're not, ooh, that's right now if you're watching this in 2020, and ooh, that's happened really recently if you're watching this in 2021, or ooh, that was ages ago and it didn't happen if you're watching this anytime after that. And if you are, why? You know, there's newer YouTube videos you could be watching that have got better production values, and if you're watching it quite far in the future, maybe you should be looking at holograms instead. Anyway, it followed the adventures of the eponymous Terrahawks, a task force responsible for protecting Earth from invasion by a group of space aliens and sinister galactic androids. Just look at this lineup of warriors, galactic warriors here, the Terrahawks. You've got John Craven from Newsround, a sexy Jennifer Saunders, a youthful Jim Davidson, a tanned version of Vera Duckworth from Corrie, and Rose West. There's Rose West. Can I put this in? Is this going too far? No, it's fine. They're helped by the Zeroids, robotic assault footballs with lame TV 1980s sci-fi designs, one of which is voiced by Windsor Davis, the world's most terrifying Welshman. They're all at odds with the rotten sods such as Zelda. Not that one. No, she's fine. It's this one. Ugh, look at her. She's a right uggo. She looks like she smells funny and has more cat food in her house than human food. I'm going to be frank, I don't trust her. Look at her. And I'm right not to, because she has an army of very unimaginatively named things called cubes. They're these things. They're the evil counterparts, of course, of the Zeroids. She should have called them the Hemorrhoids, because that's funny, unless you've got hemorrhoids and then you have trouble sitting down, and I apologise. She also has a horrible family and a bunch of really ugly monsters that look like God has forsaken their prettification day. While it wasn't as big a success as the evergreen perennial Thunderbirds, or even something like Captain Scarlet, Terrahawks was still another hit for Anderson's Super Mario Nation technique, a word that makes me instantly think of Super Mario, and it does you too, don't try to deny it. In August 2019, Anderson Entertainment Group announced that they were planning to revive the show with the forthcoming Kate Kestrel and the Terrahawks show. She was the one I unfavourably compared to Vera Duckworth earlier. But I take that back. She's cool, styled as she is, to look like candy floss. So, the game then. Published and developed by the CLR Group PLC in 1984. What a catchy name. To know more about CLR, they did a real mix of games with nothing particularly special, with the odd license like Oink Comic, and games based on Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The game itself, well, it's a space set shooter reminiscent of the old Atari Star Wars arcade title, specifically that bit on the surface of the Death Star with all the big towers shooting at you. The game involves you trying to pass the Terrahawk pilot training. That is the plotline of this game. To achieve this, you need to be able to survive flying around a black hole. Now, if you have a spaceship, which you probably haven't, that is capable of interstellar travel, please do not fly near any black holes. If you go beyond a certain point, they have this thing called the event horizon, that will draw anything in inescapably, even light, and it will crush you, spaghettify you. You won't be coming back out of there. You will definitely die. Do not, as I say, fly near a black hole. Ignore Terrahawks. The Terrahawks are stupid puppets. Back to the game. So when you've actually been sucked into the black hole, you're tasked with flying right into the centre of the vortex. Don't worry, it'll take you there itself. Anyway, blasting the monoliths out of your way. Maybe the real test is actually not flying into a black hole, which, as I've covered, is a stupid idea. And the Terrahawks are just checking that you're not too much of a dim bulb to actually fly into a black hole. Anyway, let's ignore all these sciencey, nerdy things. So, anyway, you only get a limited amount of blaster bolts to take these big old towers down. They don't really shoot at you, they just get in the way. So make sure you evade some of those with some big sweeping, flying, skillful moves. Hit 5 of them and your shield will go and you'll be dead. Done. Now, obviously, there is the idea that maybe you could just fly above them, and that's not a bad idea, except that you use more fuel flying above them. You will not have enough fuel if you fly above them to reach your intended target. So stick to the ground and dart between those columns like a badass. It's very much Star Wars the arcade game crossed with 3D Death Chase when I think about it, but not really as good as either. There are two main issues here. There aren't any enemies. The towers don't shoot at you. Nothing happens at all. You just have to shoot at the towers themselves to get them out of your way. Each time you hit the tower, they shrink a bit, but that is the extent of what you can shoot at. The other issue appears to be when you move into the next section, it's more of the same but trickier. Do you see any of the characters in the game? Nope. Do you see any Super Mario Nation action sequences maybe involving those Zeroids? Nope, there's none of that. None of it at all. This is like this all the way through. You could easily remove the Terrahawks license and just that logo on the loading screen and not know you're playing a Terrahawks game. If you're a fan of the Terrahawks, you couldn't help but be disappointed if you purchased this in 1983. Me, no, I don't care. I used to love the Terrahawks. I don't care now. Anyway, the precursor of Your Sinclair, Your Spectrum, gave the game a 2 out of 5 in their November 1984 issue. Sinclair User declared it a 5 out of 10 in their issue 32 and Crash liked it a little bit more and gave it a 69% in that particular publication. There's not really much to say beyond this, really. There's not much to the game. It's not exactly smooth and it's not too amazing to play, but it's a reasonable, if unremarkable, distraction. And that's it for that review, I guess. That's a short one, isn't it? But then there's not a lot of Terrahawking to be done. I was always creeped out by Gerry Anderson puppets. It's the hands and that way that bottom lip moved when they spoke. It was really weird. It's like when you go me 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 me. That's how you do a Gerry Anderson puppet thing. Again, another remarkable ending to a video. Me me me. Okay, thanks, bye. I'll try and make the next interview good. I've got to get one right at some point.